What up, nerds?
Chef Harrison Porter, and today I'm going to show you how to make a flake steak. I'm the chef of BearLeek. We're currently in its future home, so it might be open by the time you see this, so come check it out.
What is a flake steak, or why don't we do that?
So a flake steak is basically, I've seen it before with ribeye, but you're just cutting different slices of the steak and then putting it back onto a skewer and then grilling it. And then when it's served to you, you can just kind of flake little pieces off, so you don't have to cut it. It's already in little bite-sized pieces. So we got a beautiful Denver steak from Wagyu Den. The Denver steak is gonna be on the short rib. It's the meat above the rib. So it's also called like a chuck flap, and it's great for braises, but I find with Wagyu, there's so much fat that you don't need that long braising time to break everything down. Essentially, all those connective tissues there's so much fat, you just kind of need to melt it a little bit. And I really like Denver steaks because it's a great cut of meat. It's a different use when it's Wagyu. So with Wagyu, there's so much fat, it will temper just at room temperature. And when you touch it, it'll temper a lot. So just for ease of use, throw it in the freezer. Not too long, maybe like 10 minutes, just to harden that fat up so that you're not slipping and sliding around everywhere. The piece of Denver steak that we got was the perfect size. So I just cut a little bit less than 1/4-inch slices, just keeping them consistent and trying to keep them all together. So you're like deconstructing the steak and then reconstructing it back on the skewer. And then you get a nice, even cooked piece of meat that just comes right off. Just a really easy, kind of fun way to eat a steak. I always like the idea of a steak sauce, but A1 is not a very good sauce. It usually comes with a cheap steak. It's got a lot of umami in it. It's acidic. It's a little sweet. So I figured I would take kind of the elements of A1 and kind of incorporate it into my own sauce in a way that adds to the steak rather than kind of hides it. This is a sauce that I've been kind of playing with and recipe testing for my future opening, and I like the way that a broken sauce looks.
This is amazing.
So the first thing we did was we made a compound butter, dried Italian cherries, mustard, garlic, and tomato paste. And we kind of caramelized the tomato paste, let everything else come together, a little bit of demi-glace and sherry vinegar. And then we blended that up and then just whipped that into butter. So we have the basic components of the depth of our A1 sauce in the compound butter that we're eventually gonna break. And then we also made a Guajillo garlic oil. I just like kind of the smokiness. Also, Guajillos have a touch of fruitiness to them. They're not all that spicy. And I really like the color that they make when you cook them. So we sliced garlic real thin, and then we just blended our Guajillos in the blender with oil until it reached a certain temperature to kind of bring out all those flavors, and then just mixed it in with the garlic. So we use charcoal. I love the flavor of charcoal. And with Wagyu, you want to cook it really as hot as you can, as fast as you can. So we set up our chimney, got the charcoal going. Once it's kind of like a gray, white hot, you're good to go. And then we just set it right in the middle, domed as close as we could to the grate. Just, again, we want everything as hot as possible. I wouldn't cook other steaks that way. It would be too hot. You would char everything before you got the temperature you want. So when we get into cooking the steak, again, you want that grill really hot. Once I got the temperature I wanted, just leave the lid on for about 10 minutes. And then take the lid off, throw that steak right in the middle. And then I put the lid back on. Again, we're trying to keep that heat as high as possible, just for a minute on each side. I think in total, we did about 4 to 5 minutes. It's really fast. I just took some scallions, marinated them in some black magic, which is half Worcestershire, half soy sauce. And I let those sit for maybe like 10 minutes with a little bit of that garlic oil and some more salt. And I just want to get a nice char on the outside, kind of bring out that sweetness and add a little meatiness to the onion. So with Wagyu, you don't necessarily have to rest it the same as you would regular steaks. Again, there's so much fat in there that it's going to kind of melt into your steak. So there's really small pieces essentially that we're cooking. So instead of resting a full, let's say, inch steak, we're basically resting a bunch of small 1/4 inch steaks. So by the time the sauce comes together, maybe we rested it about 4 minutes. So as long as we cooked it. We're gonna bring it up to a quick boil, get that butter to break, and then you're good to go. I added a little bit of sherry vinegar right at the end, right before I plated. And you want your sauce to be not ripping hot because you're putting it on a steak. You don't want to cook the steak any further.
Plating.
So Wagyu is so rich and decadent. I really wanted to do a sauce that kind of played on sweetness and umami and acidity, just to kind of balance out how rich the Wagyu is. gross. All right, that's it. What's behind me? This is Godzilla eating some ramen.